Hey guys, how's it going? You may notice that on my map at the top there, I did a little bit of work off camera digging out that bit of the end island right at the top. This is just so that I can actually work on making my island look the way I want to today, and I figured you've probably seen enough of me digging holes recently. But last episode we built this beautiful mushroom behind me, and I'm really happy with it. And I also mentioned right at the end that I had an idea for how we're going to remember which side of this mushroom has the entrance to the farm, and that's what we're going to do first. You may have figured this out from my tests with waterlogged leaves previously, but I'm going to be making some lily pads in the water around my farm. I thought they'd look really cute and also serve as a good way to remember where the entrance is, because that one's going to be both the biggest and closest lily pad to the mushroom. Ideally close enough that you can jump from the lily pad to the entrance. I am going to dot a few more around the rest of the water because I figured it would look pretty weird to only have them on one side, but I think this should hopefully still work well. And I think this is good. I think I'm happy with this. I ended up making this little trail of lily pads to the actual entrance instead of just doing the big one, and I think it looks really cute. You can just hop across them like this so you can get to the farm, and it sort of works if for whatever reason I don't have an elytra or something. I can just hop across, get into the farm, and we're all good. And just so we can see the rest of it, I just sort of dotted the rest of the lily pads around just so it didn't look like they were only in the one place, which I think would have looked a little bit weird. But I really like how this turned out, and I really like the design for these that I did. It took me a little bit to make the three sizes all actually look like lily pads, but I think it works. Now, I realised the other day that I've been kind of dumb about spawn proofing this place for efficiency. You see, my end goal is to have this place full of slabs and carpets and lamps and stuff like that, but I realised that at least for now I can just light this place up with torches and it would work, so let's do that real quick. Now that's a lot better. That's much more like it. You can see on the minimap there's still a couple of places where some endermen are spawning, and I will finish and properly spawn proof absolutely everywhere, but for now this is working fast enough for me. I honestly can't believe it took me this long to remember that I could just put some torches down. Well, I say some. I put down maybe 10 stacks of torches, so it's not an inconsiderable amount, but it was definitely worth it. Now, I think it's time. I think it's time to build out the rest of this end island. You can see, and you've possibly noticed for a while, I've had these sort of guide markers for some of the areas that I need to get out to. I was thinking about this quite a lot, and I was thinking, what would this galactic hub look like? And I decided I basically want it to be a giant circle. I just felt that way the end gateways just sort of make more sense, like they were just placed equally around the outskirts of the hub. So I guess it's time to rebuild the end island. Wish me luck. I think I'm going to need it. Okay, now that took a long time. So long that the replay mod that I used for recording these time lapses actually crashed when I opened the first recording, which is partly why I only ended up showing you some of the process, but it's also probably for the best because otherwise this would have been a long time lapse. In fact, having now taken a look at the various sessions it took me to rebuild this island, it took over 12 hours, which I'll admit I wasn't quite ready for. But it's done and we've got a canvas we can start to work with, which is amazing. The island is by no means perfect, some areas don't look quite right, but honestly, it's rarely going to be seen from the outside, and I possibly could have just gotten away with building a giant disc and moving on, but I wanted to do this properly, so we've got a full island from top to bottom. But with that out of the way, we can start working on this island properly, and the first thing I need to do is build the promenade around the mushroom. I was trying to think of the best way to integrate the mushroom and the pond and everything into the project as a whole, which will have like paths and stuff, and I figured, well, most places have a really nice walkway around their body of water, be it a lake or a seafront, so why not do the same here? One thing I did notice after I lit up the island is that very occasionally some endermen do escape my farm, so I think I've worked out their teleport box, and I'm hoping that if I waterlog the blocks inside that range, it'll fix it, but we'll see. Okay, I know it's super basic right now. Eventually this should all be decorated with like benches and all sorts of stuff, but I really just wanted to focus on getting the layout of the island down, which is why the next thing I want to talk about is paths. So originally when I was planning this, I had a whole bunch of different paths planned. It kind of looked like this in my head. However, after thinking about it a bit more, I realised I really don't want it to be that complicated. So instead, the island is just going to be divided into quarters with large paths going in each of the cardinal directions. So my plan is for the paths to look kind of like this. I'm keeping with the cyan vibes, and I've periodically put ender chests underneath the carpet to give these cool little particle effects. I'm pretty sure I first saw this in Tango's Nether Hub in Season 9 of Hermitcraft, and I just thought it looked really cool and it would work really well for my own sort of hub. Now, eventually, these paths will need to go the full width of the island, and I do not have the materials to do that. Specifically, I need more ender chests. Luckily, we just built an enderman farm, which is useful, and I already have a small piglin bartering station to get the obsidian, and I've also got these pillars, which I can just dig into. However, I don't currently have a blaze farm, so I might give that a shot next episode. However, until then, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!